Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world, you know it is JJ John, JJ's PC Builds. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. What I mean by 4,000 watch hours, watch the videos from beginning to end would be much appreciated. Would help the channel grow and get us monetized. And also to all the new subscribers, welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Build. We are over 160 plus now and growing. And all the subscribers that have been on the channel all this time, we do appreciate y'all and your love and support and helping the channel grow. Alright, y'all know what time it is. It is time for Graphics Card Nightmares right here on JJ's PC Builds. So before we get started, okay, the thing is this, I've been messing around with the PC a little bit here and there, trying to keep temperatures down. I think I got a nice little halfway in the medium, with the little, nice little happy medium, so that way it doesn't take and kill the processor. I'm starting to think that I might have to go water cooled with this, or I might get a different air cooler, because, it's got me a little bit puzzled. But all in all, as long as I can keep it under 60 degrees Celsius and 150 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm fine. So let's go ahead and just jump into it, so do stick around. We're going to get to you right here on JJ's PC Builds, Graphics Card Nightmares. Alrighty, now we definitely jump to the action screen. Let me move this little microphone out of my way so that way it doesn't sound like I'm drowning you all and sound like I'm overmodulated. I probably do, because I'm still working on getting this thing straight. And you know how that goes. I mean, it's just one of those days to where you wish that when you operate your equipment, it just stayed right there at the normal stage. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, now we can move the mic a little bit closer so that way y'all can hear me once again. Oop, too far. See? I gotta get me one of those microphones that everybody else has got. One of those noise canceling big microphones it looks like a big bunny that shoves in your face. But anyway, let's get to it. Let's go to Amazon. Let's go to Amazon and see what's cooking on Amazon. Let's go to the official site. Let's go ahead and just flip it down a little bit. Put computers there. And let's do graphics cards for gaming PCs. Now, we ain't looking for gaming PCs, but we're looking for the graphics cards. Wow, it looks like they got the 1032 gigabytes down to $99. If I were to think about this card should be, for 2 gigabytes, it shouldn't be over $30 or $40 for that card. Yeah, I know it's brand new and everything else, but for a GT 1030, it shouldn't be over $50, just in my opinion. You got 3060 for $279. Now the price is coming down on the RTX 3060 12 gigabytes. It is coming down on the price. So they might go a little bit lower. You never know. Some of them, where they got 2 fans, they'll go for $279. Some with 3 fans, they'll go over for $300. I just can't see, paying an extra $39 more for an extra fan. I mean, the fans don't cost that much. The fans are only like 10 or 12 bucks. Come on, really. 3060, they're rolling it out because I think they know what's cooking. So, but anyway, the 6600, the 8 gigabyte, it's a good deal for $209, but still, people are not going to buy 8 gigabytes of VRAM anymore. They're going to stick in between the beginning set of 12 gigabytes, and then up 12 to 24 gigabytes. You know, some people are not going to go for the 8 gigabytes anymore. You know, for older games, yeah, you can do that. It'll be fine. But for newer games, the new ones that are out, 8 gigabytes is just not going to cut it, you know. So if you're thinking about it, think about the future term. Think about you getting 5 years out of one card. And see in that 5 years if 12 gigabytes will stand up to your taste or not. Maybe in 5 years it'll take and be the new normal, be up to a 16 gigabyte normal. Some people are trying to push the VRAM up to 16 gigabytes of being the normal, and they just want to skip over the 12 gigabyte and go right to the 16 gigabyte. Well, they should look at the factor that there are a lot of people that got 12 gigabyte cards. So there's some that don't have the 16 gigabyte cards yet. So, but in another fashion, in a nutshell, too, I have been hearing people taking the 12 gigabyte cards, somehow getting the bus retransformed from 192 to 256 bit, and I was hearing that they're adding another 12 gigabytes of VRAM to some of the 12 gigabyte cards. Like, let's see. What I like to see them do that is them to rearrange the bus on the RTX 4070 and go up to a 256-bit 24 gigabytes of VRAM on that card. That would be interesting to see if they can do that. They probably can. It's probably, not having been attempted yet, but they're probably going to do it sooner or later. So, they got the 248, the 1660, 6 gigabyte. I wouldn't pay $250 for a 6 gigabyte card, really. I mean, even though the 1660 Super used to be the front foremost that everybody used on gaming, but they're not really using, 6 gigabytes anymore. So think about it in the future when you're thinking about upgrading, I wouldn't even think about this one right here, the 3050. Everybody says, oh, the 3050 ain't that bad. Yeah, on a laptop it ain't bad. Trust me, on a laptop it's not that bad, but on a desktop it's not that great. So that wouldn't be a card to be, reckoned with. They got the 1660 Super with 6 gigabytes with 192 bit. Now, the thing is this. And this will be a question in your mind. Can they take the 1660 Super and make it a 12 gigabyte of VRAM with having a 192-bit bus? And it being PCIe 3.0 and changing that to 4.0. Now, if that can be done, the 1660 Super definitely would be a hot card. It would be a hot card to be thinking about. 3050 again. Now 3060, you guys know you can get it for cheaper than that. 1660 Super, to me it seems like they're throwing out cards that have no meaning, and everybody thinks they got to buy these cards that are utmost and to where they're not going to get in the future where they want to be. Kind of got to think about when you're in the future where you want to be and how far your graphics card is going to take you. I mean, especially with the little thing that Gigabyte's got going on with their RMA process, and the foot that's on the PCIe slot, with them wiring through the foot of the PCIe slot, some traces that connect to the graphics card, and it breaking off, and Gigabyte not RMAing them and stuff like that. I heard everybody sit there and going after Asus about RMA process and everything else and said, oh, it was a bad thing, but I don't hear nobody talking about Gigabyte and going after Gigabyte for a little broken foot. and the traces going through that foot, and them not RMAing their cards. I don't hear anybody taking and tracking Gigabyte about that and calling them out. That's something to think about. Y'all wanted to call out Asus, but y'all don't want to call out Gigabyte? Really? I hear a lot of people talking about they don't buy Gigabyte because, they don't stand up to the word of their products. That's what I hear from people. I don't hear nothing about Asus. Maybe one or two people say, they kind of have a little bit bad blood because what they said about the RMA process. But they fixed it. At least Asus fixed what they said. They fixed what they said. Gigabyte, on the other hand, hasn't fixed nothing yet from what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing people are going to take them to court and everything else. It's a nasty disaster. One of the reasons why, I've never reached out to Gigabyte was because I heard all that, and I'm waiting until the dust settles to see where this is going before I start reaching out to companies, But Asus, on the other hand, I got Asus products in my PC. I got an Asus video card. I got an Asus motherboard. That right there is half the PC. 3/4 to be exact. So that's something to think about too. 550, $132. Come on, Amazon, really? $132 for a 550? That's only 4 GB? You gotta be kidding me. That card at 4 GB would be considered an $80 card. It's like I said, the nightmares are coming, and it's going to get really bad for the next couple months until July hits, or this month until July hits, and then we don't even know what July is going to bring us. We don't even know what August is going to bring us, when it comes far as graphics cards, and hearing from sources saying that, AIB partners are thinking about backing out away from AMD and nvidia. They're thinking about backing out of it. What are they going to do when they do? They're going to be the only ones that solely make their cards? Who knows? Who knows what everybody's got on their chopping list? People are not buying graphics cards. People are not buying motherboards. People are not buying this, buying that, buying this. No, they're buying up all the old stuff. That's why they're not buying the new stuff. They're buying up all the old stuff. See, that's the thing, too. They're the ones that drew everybody to buy the old stuff. And then they sit there and cry about they're not making money off of the new stuff. Well, that's because you told everybody to buy the old stuff. That don't make sense. How can you tell everybody to buy the old stuff? They buy up the old stuff. You're not making any money on the new stuff, and then you cry about it, and then everybody runs back to the old stuff again. It's a circle jerk. It's a non-stop circle jerk. That's what I'm saying. $89 for 8 GB 580. That would be worth more than going for that 3050, really. So 332. Let's see, 4070 Ti, $849.99. Well, they're coming down on prices. They're doing a little bit better than that, $219. You can get it for $209. Better deal. 4080, $1,200. That's, to me, I would say $999. I would go $999 on a 4080, and people would buy it at $999. Spending $1,200 on a graphics card, that's really too much. I was almost shot paying $600 for one. So, and everybody, I'll tell you what, back 8 months ago, this is what everybody said. Oh, NVIDIA is the shiz. NVIDIA this, NVIDIA that. Oh, AMD ain't worth it. Switch to NVIDIA. And you know what? 8 months later, I switched to NVIDIA. on the graphics. And everybody's like, oh no, run back to AMD. AMD's where you need to be. I'm so confused. The thing is this. I'm trying to follow the trend, but everybody's telling me to go back to AMD. I have an AMD. And it's sitting over on the other side over here, but I have AMD. So I don't need to run back. Not unless AMD sends me a new card, then I can test it out and then, tell them my thoughts and, go from there. But pretty much that'll be about it. If these companies, they sit there and they get these reviewers all hot and bothered because they got to sit there and they want to sample the product. They want to be able to, reach out to these companies and their customer base and tell everybody, what's going on with the cards and everything else, what they test out to be and everything else. But way I'm seeing it, AMD, nvidia, the AIB partners, Intel, they all ain't playing ball right now. They all thinking about what's in, what they can conserve so it's not being over-consumed. So they're not really caring about the public at this point, from what I'm seeing, until they start showing reviewers like me and the rest of them that, they want to get back in, they get their head back into the game. They want to, they want to get everybody back on track, on square one. They want, they just want to get it rolling again. Then if they want to get it rolling again, then they're going to have to work hard. They're going to have to work hard to get it rolling again. Because everybody's thinking that, PC parts are dead. That's what they're thinking right now. That's the emails I've been getting. So, it comes down to that. I mean, 1 gigabyte card for $35, that's more or less like $5. Okay, let's just get to the realization of it. And be honest with you, that's pretty much how the prices are looking right now on Amazon. Now let's go over to Newegg and let's see what we got. Let's go over to Newegg and see what we got. And see if we got a diaper rash. Let's see, graphics cards. And I'll tell you what I don't see pop up is this. I don't see the ARC 750 or I don't see the ARC 770 pop up on these first pages. This is what everybody sees. Okay, this is what everybody sees when they come up on these pages, like from Amazon, the Newegg, eBay and stuff like that. You don't see Intel ARC 750, 770 popping out on any of the pages in the beginning. You have to put in a search just for Intel to see where they're at. You have to put a search in for it. When you put a search in for graphics card, that means all the graphics cards. That means whatever they got in their store, should be able to be on that front page. Not repeats of 570s, 580s, not repeats of 3060s, repeats. That's all they're showing on the first page is a bunch of repeats. So you wonder why they're not selling it. It's these little deals like Amazon and so on, just showing repeats of something that you don't want to buy. They're kind of costing the company money and they're costing themselves money. So they might want to rework their pages to make it correct. Like these, you got the 3070, $400 for a 3070. I mean, that's 8 gigabyte. 1660, 159. 2060 for 209. I mean, what? Because everybody states that the RTX 3070 runs better than the RTX 4070? Well, not in everything. So, and I know this for a fact. So, coming down to it, they got a 12 gigabyte card right here. Let's see what it is. 3060, 12 gigabyte, 359. 3080 or 580 right here. 89 bucks. 5500 XT for 119. That's not bad. 89 bucks, 580. See, they're not putting out cards. They're not putting out their cards on the good ones on the front page. And everybody's going to say, well, you ain't got your page set up like that. Oh, yes, I do. And this is what they're throwing out to me. This is why I do this skit every Saturday, is to show you exactly what they put on their first page. I mean, 7900 XTX, a $999 card. Still, yet it still goes over $1,000. I mean, just like the 7900 XT. Everybody's quoting that out to $1,200. You got your 580 again. You got your 3070 over here. You got 4070 Ti for almost $1,000. 6750 for $429. That's not bad for a 6750, but it's still older generation. When you go to upgrade to the newest generation, in time, you got to minus off a couple years for the older generation. I'm going to explain that. When you buy the newest cards, that usually starts square zero. And then they at least go up between 3 and 4 years. But you can't get between 5 and 7 and 8 years off of one graphics card. If you treat it well, you can get 5 to 7 to 8. Okay? Now, the longest I've ever had a graphics card, maybe 10, 12 years. So, there you go. But things change, drivers change, and everything upgrades and everything changes over a period of years. So about, every couple of years, things are going to be changing. So, 4060, 600 bucks. 3070, 639. Look at this. 4090. $2,000 almost. 3070, 8 gigabyte, almost $500. And then you can get the newest card, the RTX 4070, for what? $599? So you spend $100 more, you get a better card that has 12 gigabytes compared to 8. So that's a nightmare right there. That card should not even be over. Any of your 8 gigabyte cards should never be over $300. Never should be over $300. Your 12 gigabyte cards should not even be over $700. In my opinion. Now, your 16 gigabyte cards shouldn't be over $800. Depending on what model it is, okay? Now, if it's a lower grade off model, then, the prices will vary. But when it's a newer grade model, like, for example, the RTX 4070 Ti example. Okay, now if the 4070 Ti becomes an obsolete model, That means they stopped making drivers and everything for it, and it's a discontinued item. Then it's going to be in the bracket. Even though if you can buy it new, it's still going to fall in the same bracket as used. For the simple fact, if it goes over its earmark of 3 years, they'll start considering it to be into the used pile, and then after the 5th year, they'll consider if it still gets driver updates. But it'll be, after 5 years, it'll be discontinued. They don't usually keep anything more than 5 years, or they discontinue them. Some companies don't discontinue right away. They keep them out for 10, 12, 15 years. Like AMD. I do know back then that nvidia was like their oldest of old cards. They were like cutting them out of circulation completely. They were just cutting out the oldest of the old out of circulation, and then the ones that are still in circulation, they keep them out for a couple more years. Then, boo. Sorry, I'm yawning. But anyway, let's move on. Y'all don't need the stories. You just need to know what's going on with these graphics cards. And like I said, you can get an MSI graphics card for $600. It's the RTX 4070. They're still selling at base price. A lot of people are talking about them. They're saying, well, they're not as bad as everybody thought they would be. Just like they said with the 4080. They didn't say it's not as bad as what it's supposed to be. Even though that it's a half cut down card from the 4090. But from the 4080 down are cut down cards from the 4080, not the 4090, the 4080. Now, if they did cut down cards from the 4090 down, a lot of these cards would have a lot more cores and everything else on them. But what they did is they did a cut down from the 4080. So just to let you know that's where they did the cut down from, was from the 4080 down. So moving on down the road. They got some 6700, 12 gigabytes, 279. That's not too bad. 6700 XT, 12 gigabytes. That's not too bad. 4070 Ti's. Like they're doing the 4070 OC, the tough, not when I got the Asus dual RTX 4070 OC. So it has the switch on there, just to tell you. So don't get it wrong. It has the switch on there for the OC. Yeah, but if you're looking for a graphics card, you best off to wait until July. I don't mean to sound like the bearer of bad news. Wait till July if you're looking for a low-end graphics card. Maybe the 4060, maybe the 4060 Ti 16 gigabytes you're waiting for. Well, if you're waiting for the 4060 Ti 16 gigabytes for $500, do you really think that 4060 Ti 16 gigabytes is going to be faster than the 4070 for $100 more? No. Because if you remember, the only thing they're changing is the 8 gigabytes to 16 gigabytes. Everything else stays the same. So the way the 8 gigabyte runs right now, that's the way the 16 gigabytes is going to run. So if you think you're going to pour yourself into the 4060 Ti at 16 gigabytes and think you're going to get a whole lot more, you're probably going to get about the same. You're only getting 8 more gigs of VRAM, and you're paying more, $100 and some more for 8 more gigs of VRAM? I can't see that, especially when you got the RTX 4070 running 23% faster than the 4060 Ti. So there's like a big gap between the two. Even at $100 price difference. I mean, you might get 16 gigabytes on one, yeah. But do remember, you get 12 gigabytes on the other, but you get more performance on the other. So either you want more RAM or you want more performance with a good amount of RAM. 12 gigabytes is not not low amount of RAM. It's not like 8 gigabytes. It's 12 gigabytes. I mean, it's 4 gigabytes less than 16, but still, it still rocks. And in my PC right now, it's still chooching along with no problem. I have no problem with that RTX 4070, and I've been running it for about a week or so, you know? So do keep that in mind. If I have any problems with that card whatsoever, and I'm going to be testing that card out for at least 8 months, this card's going to be in this system. So it's going to be chooching right along. And if it has one bit of any problems, I'm going to tell you. You're going to know it right here on JJ's PC Builds, because I will tell you. So do stick around for that, and I will give you an 8-month update to tell you how this card is running. So, but in the meantime, if I see anything else that's an advantage for you to get this card, then go from there. But also understand too, if these cards don't sell, they're going to discontinue the card, but you can still get the driver updates. Now, even if they discontinue the card, making the card, you can still get the driver updates for this card. It does not stop that, because they still have to abide by the amount of people that bought the card. They still have to do this. They have to abide by the same rules like they do with all graphics cards. So understand that. Okay, let's move on down the road. We got to save a little bit for y'all for the end conclusion. Can't give you the end conclusion in the middle of the video. So let's see. We got a 3050 229. They're struggling that 3050. Even though that they don't want to tell everybody the amount of lanes it's got, and they don't want to tell the amount of bandwidth it's got, and stuff like that. I mean, this is the reason why, and I'm gonna shoot this out here. I'm gonna put the RTX 3050 specs, and I'm just gonna shoot this out here to y'all. We're going to go to the 3050 8GB on Tech Power Up. Okay, it's a GA106. It's got 2560 cores, 80 TMUs, 32 ROPs, 8GB of VRAM. It's got GDR6, and it's a 128-bit bus. Okay, now let's go down to the features. Okay, now, when you got an RX Vega 56, 5% faster than the 3050, I can see why people are not going to buy the 3050. I mean, even the 1070 Ti is faster by 11%. 5600 XT is cheaper in value, the 5600 XT, but it's 13% faster than the 3050, the RTX 3050. Okay, now let's see. You got 5700, the RX 5700, and it's 21% faster than the RTX 3050. Okay, now what I've seen on sale was the 5700, the 5700 XT, the 5600, and the 5600 XT. I've seen them all on sale, and all of them cards will outdo the RTX 3050. Okay, now even the 6650 XT is 57% faster than the RTX 3050. But guess what? You can get it for less than $250. The 6650 XT. Now, you want to talk about the 3050 being in a nightmare? It's a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire waiting to happen. I mean, it's got 8 lanes, PCIe 4.0 X 8 lanes. It's for if you're gonna do, if you're not gonna use it for gaming, and if you're gonna use it for like, let's say, office work, business work, and stuff, yeah, that's perfect for you. You know, if you don't want an inexpensive card, that's perfect for you. You know, but as far as gaming and stuff like that, yeah, it might game a little bit, but on low settings, is it going to do 1440p? Maybe not. Is it going to do 1080p? Probably, but at medium to low settings, you know, come on, guys. I mean, that's something to think about. I mean, bandwidth alone is what's killing this card. It's got 224 gigabits of bandwidth. Okay, 224 gigabits. Okay, now, if you were to get the RTX 4070, it's over 500 plus gigabits per second on the bandwidth. And it's a 192-bit bus. That's a big difference compared to what this is right here. This is just basically another, I mean, 2560 shading units is not nothing compared to the 5888 that the RTX 4070 has. And yes, I am comparing the two, because for the simple fact is that, you know, you need a card that's going to last you 5 years. Okay, everybody looks at the price. You look at the price, but the thing is this. Now, with the price, you can look at the card and say, okay, I want to get an $1,800 card, like the 4070 or the 4090. Okay, you get the best of the best, the 4090 for, let's say you get it for $1,500. So this is how you do the math. Okay, now I'm going to take the calculator up to you, and I'm going to show you all the math. Okay, you figure 5 years, right? And there's 365 days in a year. You times that by 5 years, you get 1,825 days. Okay, these are by, now it's by days. Now if you times that, or divided that by 4, then you can say, let's say 456 in a month. Well, that don't make sense. Let's just stick with the 18. I got it all messed up. Let's just stick with the 1825 days. Okay, we'll deal with the days. Okay, so if you take that, and if I remember right, I just did this. I mean, oh my God, my brain must be really floating today. If you took it, divided it by 1600, if I'm right. Okay, so you took 5 years and divided it by the amount of cost, gives you $1.14 per day. That's what it's costing you per day. Is $1.14. Okay, and that's not including all the you know, the extras that it has, like the DLSS 3 and stuff like that. No, it's just telling you you're going to stick with this one card for 5 years, and it's only going to cost you per day $1.14 per day. Seems like it's a dream. Yeah, it is a dream. But if you figure, if you bought that card out and you kept it for 5 years, and you spent $1.14 a day, and you know you get all the gaming power and everything that you want, then guess what? You got your money's worth. Okay, that's the long picture. That's for the long picture. A lot of people usually keep their graphics cards between 3 and 5 years. So that's usually why I do this mathematic, is to show you how much it's cost you per day, every day for 5 years. So that's not bad. So that's how you figure it. And then you times it by 30, and that's for a whole month. So it costs you $34 and 22 cents. $34.22 a month. And then you work your way back up the ladder. So you spend on gas per month more than $34.22. Okay. Now, for $1.14 a day, you spend close to $20 to $30 a day on stuff you don't really need. You know, I'm just doing a hypothetical. Things that you don't need that you pay for. If you stop paying on the things you don't need, then you'll have the things you want. Think about it like that. Okay, so that gives you an idea about, how these cards, work and everything else. Everybody's saying, oh yeah, you're looking at daily horsepower. Okay, and you're spending this much on daily horsepower. Okay, well, that's not how I look at it. I look at it as like a 5-year bingo card. It's a card that you get your number for every so-called blah blah, and then you get bingo at the end. Okay. I know it's not a good analogy, but if you look at it like this, you get 5 years solid out of your card, and you still get driver updates then and there beyond, and your card still runs at like 100%, like $1 million. Then you know what? You got a great card. You got the Silicon Lottery. Okay. You held on to one card for 5 years. Okay. But you collect your cards too, so you go and you buy different cards and you collect them. That's understandable too. A lot of people do that. They buy new cards, they collect them, they put them on their shelf, keep them in the boxes and so on. Until one day they decide to take them out of the box and they decide to use them. But that's understandable. There are some people that just want to buy one graphics card and be done with it. For at least a couple years. If you do your math and you get a decent card, for, let's say you got $2,000 to spend. Okay, you get a decent card for $1,400. Let's say you get a RTX 4090 for $1,500. And they got an open box sale. You get it for like $13.99. Nothing's missing out of the box. It was just a return because it was too big and it couldn't fit in their system, so they couldn't put it in there. Basically, it's brand new, unscratched, unpeeled, everything else, and it's back in the box. So they sell it to you for a couple $100 off. You got a great deal. So you got a card that's going to last you 5 years. It's only going to cost you maybe less than $1.14. Might cost you like $1.09 per day. So that's how you got to look at it. Don't look at it about how much it costs per watt, or don't look at it per FPS and everything else. Look at it in the long picture. How much is it going to actually cost you down the road in 5 years? You go from the 5-year period, when you first buy it, 5 years down the road, how much is it really going to cost you to use that card for a full 5 years? Well, I showed you, $1,500, $1.14. Okay? You can't change the factors of the real pricing. Okay, whatever price you buy it at times how much per day for 5 years, you'll find your answer that you're looking for. Okay. Now it's time to move on to, as much as I don't want to move on to it, let's move on to eBay. And let's go ahead and see what eBay has going on. Let's see, graphics cards. Let's see, let's go down here and just make it for buy it now. Alrighty, so now they got a 3050 264. I don't know why they keep pushing them. The 580, see the first two cards, they put the two crappiest cards right there. even though the 580 is not too crappy, okay, it'll definitely beat, it'll definitely beat the doors off of the 3050. So, in my opinion, 1060, 580 again, 1660 Ti. I mean, if you're looking to collect cards, this would be the good way to go. 5700, 580, 2060, 1660, 554 gigabyte for $40. That should be about around 25, my opinion. But moving on down the road, the A4000, 16 gigabytes, 600. Nah, I don't think so. Okay, the C2, no, $62 and ain't working. Nope, you would never use that one anyway, or that one. 6900 XTOC, 475 or best offer. Well, that's not too bad, I would say. Let's see, 2066 gigabyte, 159. Nope. 3060 Ti, 250. Maybe. See, nope. It's a Tesla card. Doesn't have any outputs on it, so it wouldn't make no sense to get it. 580. No. GTX 670 superclocked. Whoa, hell, for $34.99 you get a superclock. Nope. Let's see. 462 gigabyte, nope. 1060, nope. 450, nope. 3070 Ti, 369.95. Maybe.
Got him! Got him!
Alrighty, let's move on down the road. I was looking at the 30. I was looking at it, and just trying to show you what you're going to be looking at. Okay, so you see that right there? Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my voice today. Either somebody put some jelly stains on it or something, or they did something to the box. Don't look like the box made it. And yep, if you look right here, you can see the tabs bent really hard, and it looks like they had a glue fest right here putting these little heater things in here. I don't know what the hell that is. I really don't. I would never recommend this card to anybody. I'm sorry, I would not even for that price. I would not even recommend that card to nobody. Sorry, that doesn't look right. I mean, seriously, if you're going to take that card that's messed up, I would take it somewhere else, not on eBay. That's why they say if you go to eBay, you buy e-waste. And that's pretty much what it comes down to, looking like e-waste.
Damn!
They got this one here, the 2060 for $164. Nah. You got a Titan, which has discontinued drivers. Nope. You got a 3080 for $470 or best offer. For a 3080, that's not too bad, but nope. 1660 Ti, nope. 570s, 1050s, 5700s, 660s, 2070s, 1080s. You guys get the point. I mean, eBay is not going to change when it comes to, you know, their parts and, you know, how people sell the parts up on eBay. Ain't nobody gonna. Yeah. It's not to me. It's not really something for me to talk about at this point in time, because I know how eBay is, and I really just I can't. I don't have words for it. I really don't. Let's go to Micro Center. I'm sure they'll have something cooking. So, oh, yes, 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 yes. Let's go and find graphics cards. Let's see. One available to ship. They got a 4070 Ti for $800 available to ship. Alright, going over to the other side where you got to go in the store. Not where they ship it out to you, but you got to buy in the store only. That's the only way you can get their prices, good prices, is if you go into their store and buy whatever you need from them in their store. So these right here, I got nothing to knock on Micro Center. They are doing a fine job. And they got awesome staff over there as well, from what I'm hearing. So make sure y'all, if you're in the Tustin, California area, make sure you go visit Micro Center to see what's going on, or just go to microcenter.com, see what's up. So let's move on down the road, see if we see anything. Let's see. They got the one I got right here, the Asus Dual, for $599. Available for pickup. They got the 6950 XT for $650. So the RTX 4070 is $50 less than this. So, yep, just keep moving on down the road. See, 4090, 7900 XTX. Still, they're trying to make their money too. $999, plus they add a $60, fee to it. So, or $61. They still need to eat too, so they figure that's how the best way they can sell it. So I don't blame them for that. $12.69. See, they're only adding like $50 to $70 on each one of them. It looks like. To me, that's what it looks like. Now this one right here, they added about $109 to it. So, $379 for a 6750. It's not a 6950. It's a 6750. Okay, now moving on down the road. 3060 Twin, $289. What else? Y'all get the point. I'm not going to drag this on too much. So, alright. Since y'all got the point, we're going to go back to the main screen. Alrighty. Here we are, back on the main screen. Move the microphone over here next to y'all. And that way y'all can hear me better. Okay, here's the deal. Prices for what's been coming down, the 6950 XT, the RX 6950 XT is coming down. A few prices are coming down. The RTX, did I say RTX 6950? I meant RX 6950, my bad. The XT version. The RTX 3050 is coming down in price. But I'm sure you're not going to want to pay the prices they got for a 128-bit card, 128-bit bus card that has half of the amount of horsepower that you would need. It might work good out for you in some fashions, but it might not. Okay, the 6600, the 6650 XT, the 6600 or the 6650 XT are in good low prices. And another thing too is they got all these new cards that came out. All the new cards that just came out. Where are they on the front page of Amazon, Newegg, eBay? You see some of them maybe on Micro Center, but you don't see much of it anywhere. Where did they go? How come they're not showcasing them in the front? All the new cards that come out, how come these businesses are not showcasing them out front? Do you wonder why they're not selling these cards? It's because they're not promoting these cards. This is the reason why the sales are down, is because these businesses are not promoting the card. Maybe Micro Center is a little bit different. Micro Center does promote within and outside of it as well. So I'm not putting Micro Center in that category. But as far as when it comes to Amazon, Newegg, when it comes to, we know eBay ain't going to promote anything, because that's what their sellers are supposed to do, is promote within. So, but as far as Amazon and as far as Newegg, why aren't they promoting all these new cards to the front? Why are they throwing all the old ones in front and then you got to go search for the new ones? Why don't they put Intel Arc on there in the front? Why are they shoving it all to the back? That's going to be a good question for y'all, and that's going to be a good question for nvidia and AMD. You got Amazon and Newegg selling all the crap cards, the ones that are being reproduced over and over again by China, other than putting all the new ones that are really, the good marketed ones, putting them out front. They're not in Front Street. They're in the back streets. So it does not make sense to me. And yes, this is my conclusion part of all this, but I'm just telling you, this is where the nightmare begins, and it's just going to continue when it comes to going on these big websites with all these products and everything else. They don't seem to want to promote the newest of the new to the front. They rather promote the old crap to the front and put the new crap to the back. And then when it comes time that all that new stuff goes right to the front, it becomes old stuff again. So does that make sense? I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think? Just tell me down below what y'all think. I'm thinking myself that this is what's happening. This is why people are not buying, is because they're not, putting it out front to where everybody can see it. Now, that's kind of bad for, AMD and nvidia, and especially all the AIB partners that can't sell their cards. Is because if they're trying to sell to like Amazon or Newegg, they're not putting all their newest cards to the front. They're putting all the oldest to the front and the newest to the back. So people like me are probably not going to go all the way back through 20 to 30 to 40 pages just to find the brand new cards. They should be right out on Front Street. And that's my opinion on that. And that's what I feel that's happening right now in the market. That's the reason why this is Graphics Card Nightmares, is to bring up all that nightmare stuff. All the nightmares. They bring all the nightmares forward and then leave you all the crap in the front, and then you go to the back and then you can barely find it. It's like it's not in, they don't have it in stock, or something like that. It's either out of stock or something. you know they wait for all their old stuff to get sold first before they decide to sell that new stuff. So basically, that's just the way business works now these days. If you guys are going to go searching for those new cards, you basically got to type it in for what the new cards are for you to go search for it, for you to find it. Sometimes they won't be on their site, and if it's not, then they're not selling it or promoting it. So now, as far as the RTX 4070, they're kind of putting that out there a little bit. Not much. But the 4080 they're trying to put out there with these old cards. They're trying to put the 4090 out there with these old cards. People are going to look at, the fastest to the slowest. And that's their mindset. Put the fastest out there and put the slowest out there. Let's see which one they go for. Everybody's going to go for the slowest card. Not unless you got a deep pocket that's going to take and just pick up that card like it was nothing. That's the only way that works. So, it comes down to it again. It's what you can afford. That's how you buy. And now these days, people don't have that kind of money. Part of the 1% in the CPU, the computer community, the top 1% can afford it. But the rest of us in the 99 percentile, basically we have to wait for a rainy day for it to rain enough cash into the pocket in order to buy what we need. Just for sale. So, but anyway, that's my conclusion. Don't give up hope just yet on the PC community. Don't give up hope yet up on these companies. They will sooner or later break this cycle and come back out on top once again. So if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And again, thank you for all the new subscribers subscribing. Welcome to the family. And all the subscribers that have been here for quite a while, thank you, thank you, thank you. We do appreciate all the support and love you showing us. And all we ask is, you tell everybody, hey, watch the videos, hey, subscribe, help them out and stuff like that. Y'all doing that much help, really helps out the channel, gets the word out and everything else. That's what we're trying to accomplish, getting the word out. So that way we can start filling up and we can start getting to the monetization part. So we can start working on other new things. That's what I want to do, work on some new things. I'm going to keep continuing to make the videos. Don't worry about that. I will keep and continue to make the videos. I like to make them better because, but maybe if I get like a friend or something that can train me a little bit better than what my knowledge is on this stuff, it would be a lot better. So I'll probably have to go through a couple training courses and stuff like that to do better videos, but I'm doing the best I can for you all, just to let you know. But anyway, until the next time and the next one, we will, you know who this is, JJ on JJ's PC Builds. We will see you on the next video.